Okay, we have six commissioners. Let us start the meeting. This meeting begins with election of officers, which is going to be conducted by Nick Keenan.
I guess it's my turn.
It
All
is
right.
your turn.
You
Yeah.
Thank
are
you.
now spotlighted.
Thank you, Chair Horn. And thank you, commissioners, for entrusting me with this position. So we're going to elect first the chair, and then the vice chair, and then the treasurer, and then the secretary. And what I will do for each position is call for nominations, and a second if there is a nomination, and then we will have discussion and then the vote. So the first position is chair, and are there any nominations for chair?
I nominate Bernie Horn.
Okay. Is there a
Second.
second? Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay. If any commissioner has any discussion that they would like to add? Seeing none, we can move on to the vote. So all in favor, I guess it's just a yes, no, right? So all in favor of Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
Yes.
So I see 5 in favor, 6. Okay. And so that's unanimous. All right, very good. Congratulations, Chair Horn. Now on to the position of vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I
Yes.
nominate Tricia Duncan.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, please.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none, we'll move to discussion. Would any commissioner like to make any comments upon the nomination?
Thank you for taking this responsibility on all people running today.
Noted. All right, we can move on to the vote. So all in favor? And it's unanimous. Okay, so for the role of treasurer, the position of treasurer, is there a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Chuck Elkins.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we'll move to discussion. Do any commissioners wish to make comments upon the nomination? Seeing none, we can move to the vote. So all in favor? Okay, we have unanimous. So that passes. And finally, we move to the position of secretary. Are there any nominations for the position of secretary?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Nowak.
Okay. Is there a second?
Sure.
Okay, we have some seconds. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, we can move to discussion. Are there any commissioners who would like to make a comment upon the nomination? Seeing none, we can move. Commissioner Simkowitz, please.
Yeah, a matter of procedure. She can accept it in her absence through another commissioner. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Then I suppose we should vote preliminarily for her to assume that position, and she could reject that at the next meeting if she chooses.
Yeah.
She did send in writing that she would serve, so
I
I'm
think
feeling
that's
pretty confident.
sufficient then. Sure.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, so we can hold the vote. All in favor? And once more, it's unanimous. So I think I have completed my duties here. Thank you all for being so agreeable.
Thank you.
I do have one more thing, Mr. Keenan. First of all, thank you. But we need to appoint someone to be the representative to the Georgetown Community Partners. And the Georgetown Community Partners is the community group that oversees the operation of Georgetown University. Typically, that was held by the commissioner for SMD 3D10 or now 3D07. I could not serve in that capacity because I had a conflict of interest. But now that has been rectified. So previously that had been, during my absence, it had been filled by Commissioner Nowak, and I thank her for that. If she wants to continue, that's fine. But if she does not, I'd be willing to take on that responsibility again. And I think we need to vote on that.
Okay.
Is it possible for us to do what Commissioner Simkowitz just suggested? That is that we vote for him unless Commissioner Nowak wants to continue, in which case we can.
And then I would resign and she would take it over again.
I don't know. Commissioner Duncan, what do you think? I don't know what's.
I think out of courtesy, we don't want to kick her out of something if she's enjoying it, but she very well may want. I texted her, but
we have to do that in our January meeting. So, because there may be a something that goes on during January that seat would have to be filled. I'm willing to take that on since she's not here for January, then we can revote in February. You know, I don't necessarily want this job. It's just somebody has to do it. So
would you like me to do that election as well?
Or I think, I mean, I see Commissioner Elkins nodding his head like we need to do this.
Yes.
Electing JP for January makes a lot of sense. We can revisit in February. So let's go on and vote.
All right.
All right. So is there a nomination for Commissioner Simkowitz for this position?
For January only.
Okay. For January only. Okay. Is there a second? Are there any other nominations? All right. Seeing none, we can move to discussion. Does any commissioner have any comments? Seeing none, we can move to the vote. All in favor? Okay, we're unanimous again. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. We're going to talk about approval of the agenda. We have some amendments, and I'd like to talk about them. The first is, under discussions, move the ANC3D priorities for 2026 to the first item of commission business instead of under discussions, and instead put in discussions the Office of Campaign Finance, which was interested in making a presentation. Third, to in official actions, add Reservoir Road traffic calming DDOT letter and stop sign camera on Loughborough and Arizona Avenue DDOT letter. And fourth, to add in commission business 5 technical and record keeping resolutions. Have I got them all? I think so.
That sounds right to me.
All in favor of the amended agenda? 6 votes. It's unanimous. Let's move on to updates. Officer Tony McElwee.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Glad to see everybody out there. Hope you had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm going to start off with the last 30 days. We had 18 offenses reported in this PSA 205. And I'll break them down. One was an assault with a deadly weapon, which was domestic related. We had 1 robbery, 1 burglary, 2 motor vehicle thefts, 6 theft run autos, and 7 general thefts. I'll start off with the assault. The assault occurred on December 29th at 11:20 a.m. in the 4000 block of Massachusetts Avenue. This was domestic related and involved the knife. The victim's tires were slashed to her vehicle, and she was threatened with the knife but not harmed. An arrest warrant has been issued for the suspect who is known, so that'll be closed shortly. The robbery occurred on December 17th at approximately 8:40 p.m. at 4500 block of MacArthur Boulevard, right down from the high school. This involved a student who had just departed the basketball game at the MacArthur High School when he was followed by several other juveniles to 4545 MacArthur Boulevard, where he was assaulted, and they stole the victim's Nike Romero shoes. Our second district detectives are actively working this case and are reviewing several security camera videos obtained from nearby residents to identify these individuals. I see that Captain Haskins is on there. He may want to jump in later if they found anything else more on this. I don't know about, but I know they have good pictures of the actors. The burglary occurred on December 6th at approximately 10:40 p.m. hours within the 3800 block of 52nd Street Northwest. MPD 2D units responded to that area for a report of a burglary in progress. Upon the arrival of our units, our CST, also known as crime suppression units, they specialize and focus in different areas of where crime is occurring, immediately arrived on scene and apprehended one suspect who was arrested and identified as Stephen Rogers, black male, date of birth August 18th, 1986. He was arrested and he is currently incarcerated. This individual, I'm going to put his picture up here, and if you want to take a picture of it, you can see it. This individual has been breaking into several homes, and he has been caught several times. He basically goes in there, vacant homes, and just stays in there, turns the heat on, and then leaves. Some houses were up for sale, but he was apprehended several times, and our arresting officer pushed to have this gentleman continue to be incarcerated. So as of today, he is still incarcerated, but I wanted to put his picture out there. He has been frequenting the PSA 205 area. Two motor vehicle thefts, and I want to talk about that a little bit. We had two thefts, and I spoke with our second district auto theft officer, Mark Panhorse. He specifically works these kind of cases, and he wanted me to put it out there that there's been a rise in the stealing of newer model Hondas and Acuras via a machine called an Autel. And the two vehicles that were stolen in 205 were both 2024 Honda CRVs. And we're not sure this is the case, but he has discovered this in other jurisdictions. And what an Autel machine does was they plug them in to some of these newer models like the OB into the ports. He wanted me to put out there that there is if you own one of these Hondas or a newer Acura, and if you'd like to, you can go online and order an OBD. That's O as in ocean, B as in B, D as in door protector. They can be bought online for specific makes and models, and they basically just cover the vehicle's OBD port to make it more difficult for thieves to plug into these devices, like the Autel machines. Both the owners of these two Hondas did have their keys in their possession. So that's what Officer Panhorse is leaning towards. Is it this? It may be, we don't know. But just to put that out there, similar like 2 years ago when I think like 2011 to 2021 Hyundais and Kias, when they were stealing the cars, they had some type of thing they would put into the port. So just wanted to put that out there. If you own a Honda or an Acura. The sixth theft from autos. I'm just going to go over the locations in case some of your listeners are out there or live near the areas. 4500 block of Mass Avenue was a daytime theft from auto. 4400 block of Reservoir Road was a late night, early morning hour, excuse me, theft from auto. 5000 MacArthur Boulevard, a daytime event. 49th Street in Fordham, another daytime event. 5100 block of 52nd Street and 2000 block of 48th Street, also daytime events. Again, as I do at every meeting, please try to get your belongings out of plain view and lock your cars. The seven
Officer
general thefts.
McElroy, for those theft from autos, do you have a picture of did anyone get a picture of him?
I don't have it in my notes here, and I've been looking over the police reports. Most of the ones where we canvassed the areas, we didn't find any security cameras or ring cameras that caught the actual crimes at this point, but they're still open cases.
Okay.
The 7 general thefts, 5 of them were thefts of packages left on the porches. And those areas were 4,900 Klingel, excuse me, 4,700 Ashby, 4,800 and 4,500 MacArthur, and the 5,000, just getting over a cold, Sedgwick Street. Excuse me. And the other ones was a theft from the office and a theft of service from one of the restaurants. Excuse me. And with that said, I'll be happy to take some questions, complaints, or concerns. Excuse me.
I don't see any. Did Captain Haskins want to add anything?
All I'll add is there was also an ADW 4000 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest that the victim and the suspect know each other well, or at least for the last several months. That case we expect to get closed. The juvenile that was jumped on the 4500 block of MacArthur, the detectives are still working it, and I should have a better update for you all in the next few weeks on that, because they do have some good images on it. Otherwise, no, I thought, thank you, Officer McElwee. That was very in-depth. So, but if anybody wants any further details, what I've heard about the most recent theft from autos, probably a similar lookout to the ones that have been hitting our neighbors up in Chevy Chase and in the AU Park, Tenleytown area, is a dark 4-door Volkswagen with Maryland tags, but I don't have an image or a tag number on that yet. As soon as we get something on that, we'll push it out.
Very good. Any questions? Yes, Ms. Goldman? Goodman.
What period do these incidents cover, and does it reflect an increase or decrease from prior periods?
Are you referring to the theft from autos?
Yeah, basically these incidents of both the thefts as well as assaults.
Yeah, the majority of the thefts are daytime, and our theft from autos were actually down this time, the last 30 days versus the 30 days prior. But most of them are occurring during the daytime.
Any other questions?
Quick question on the gentleman that was going into the vacant houses. He was arrested, you said, and it was that. Is he going to remain?
Right now, he's being held. He is held, and he had his preliminary arraignment and all that, so he's been held. So as far as we know, he's going to be held till trial. If he is released, I'll put it out on the network. And as I said, I showed you his picture. If you want to take a picture of it, he does frequent 205. He has been in the last year. We know him very well. We've arrested him several times, and that's what the arresting officer pushed out to the judge, saying, "Look, we let him out. He keeps going back in," and the judge basically got tired of it and detained him. He's now incarcerated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to put out. I'm going to put in the chat box my email address for vacation checks. And if we missed anything, you certainly throw me an email, send me an email, and we'll answer it. I'll get back to you with an answer.
Commissioner Elkins?
Officer, you didn't mention anything about traffic, but I would just say that I continue to see an increase in number of people in Wesley Heights who are running stop signs in a serious manner. And so I think if you stationed yourself near any of the intersections on 44.
Hello, everyone. If you can hear us, I have blocked every single user on this.
I can hear you, Tricia.
Um, did anyone happen to notice the name of the person in the meeting right now who was doing that?
Romano Cans.
Romano Katz.
Was it?
Yep. That was the window in which the spam video appeared.
Tricia, may I remove him?
Please remove and report.
I mean, I can't say that was hijacked, but that was the name of the window that had the spam video in it.
Okay.
And when we came back on, his hand was raised, which was, make of that what you will.
Okay. That has not happened in a really long time. He's removed, so I'm going to go ahead and allow people to put their cameras back on if they want, but give me a second here. Okay. All right, people can start their videos and people can unmute themselves.
So, Mr. Chairman, I was making some point.
Yes.
Officer, I think you could station yourself at almost any intersection on 44th or 45th Street in Wesley Heights and find a number of people who are not paying attention to the stop signs, and they are a danger to pedestrians. So if you could, in your spare time, find some time to spend there, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Since you brought it up, I have been focusing down there on Garfield and 45th and 43rd, but this month in the next 30 days, let's focus on 45th and what street? What's the cross street you would like?
Well, I would say anywhere north and I guess it's north and south on 44th and 45th Street on all those intersections, as opposed to people who are coming down Garfield. We realize people who are coming. There are probably more people who are commuters on Garfield, but I think we've got a number of other people who are running stop signs on 44th and 45th.
Okay, so let's target a street Lowell on 45th.
Heading well, why don't you and I talk offline? I won't take the time of the meeting.
Okay, and then while I'm on that, I did forget to mention that I am going to target Arizona and MacArthur for the red light violations there. I was out
Goes
there.
in like a barge.
Get your clip ready.
All right, now I'm seriously annoyed.
That time it was popping up over multiple names of people in the meeting legitimately.
I think it said Jason something. I think it was Jason Stones.
I believe that's correct.
All right, well, he's just got kicked out.
There's
All right, so I hate to do this because it's unfortunate, but I'm going to keep everybody. I'm going to keep everybody locked. You can still raise your hand if you would like to speak, and we're going to keep an eye on it, but we can't have this whole meeting do this because it's so disruptive, and I'm really annoyed. Unless another commissioner has another idea.
Nope, seems like a good idea.
Okay, if any participants, I'm also looking at the chat. Um, although I don't think anyone can chat anymore either. I think I've disabled that.
Will people be able to raise their hands, Commissioner Duncan?
Um, could someone raise their hand? Yes, Jason Robert just raised his hand. Okay, thank you. All right, if you are a member of the public and you would like to speak, please raise your hand. And then we are going to ask you to turn your video on before we unmute you. So that's how we're going to do this. Very sorry to the good neighbors out there. This actually hasn't happened to us in well over a year. So yeah, I'm annoyed.
Well over a year. I don't think since it was like 2023.
The very first time we were on Zoom, it happened to us. I remember, but since then, I don't remember it happening at all. So that was a long time ago.
All right, I'm trying to get Officer McElwee back up here so we can at least say goodbye to him.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay.
I can speak. You just can't see me.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Gosh, I wish that was a crime we could enforce. Um, okay, Commissioner Horn, back to you.
Yeah, was there anything more, Officer McElwee?
Other than, as I said, I'm going to focus on Arizona and MacArthur Boulevard for the red light running out there. And as always, we'll monitor your traffic to the best of our ability. That's cutting through the Palisades during rush hour or during obstructions out on Canal Road where traffic backs up for the traffic that's cutting through from 4 to 6:30 p.m. And I will get together with Commissioner Elkins and set up a target location, one of those intersections, beginning hopefully tomorrow. So, Commissioner Elkins, I'll give you a call tomorrow. Other than that, I'm going to put in my chat, although the chat's been disabled, I think, my email address. And again, if you go on vacation, please send me an email and we'll check your home while you're gone, give you good peace of mind. And if you have any other questions, other than that, Happy New Year. And you know where to find me, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, I'm going to put your email in there. Is it anthony.mcelwee@dc.gov?
Yes, Commissioner Duncan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tricia, it's possible to allow chat if you want to and still keep the lock on. I believe.
Oh, I can, but they could spam the chat too, and we've had problems with that.
If we worry about that, yes.
All right, so let's turn to the mayor's office. Owen Cox is on. You have to unlock him.
I can talk, but I can't unlock my video.
Okay, I'm working on that. If you could start talking, and I'm gonna work on that. Sorry.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is William Owen Cox. I'm the Ward 3 liaison for the mayor's office. And I have just a couple announcements. The big one, Kendall Gibson is no longer the manager for Ward 3. She got accepted to a new role. She is now the Deputy Director for Community Relations for Wards 1 through 4. So you may see her at some ANC meetings, possibly, but likely no. And going forward, for now at least, if you need anything from the mayor's office, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Second announcement, earlier this week was the start of the second round of leaf pickup. The DPW crews are hard at work, and I talked with our contact at DPW, who said that things are proceeding apace and have not hit any major snags. I did get some reports from other parts of the ward about some slight delays in recycling and or trash pickup. They're aware of the frustration with that, and they're asking for everyone to take it in stride as they're battling the leaves, and then also potential for some snow. Hopefully we don't get any. And then finally, for Christmas trees, the guidance from DPW is to place a Christmas tree in your tree box, just like you would leaves, not mixed together with leaves, but where you would put your leaves in a tree box in front of your home, and crews will be out concurrently with leaf pickup to collect Christmas trees. Also, there is a large dumpster that DPW provided, and it's set up at the Guy Mason Recreation Center parking lot next to the Whole Foods. There's a dumpster there that is available for anyone if they want to take their Christmas trees there. Then feel free to toss them in, and that'll be there until the end of January. So feel free. But in any case, anyone needs to reach out to me. I'm sure Commissioner Duncan, if you wanted to put my contact info, or if you unlock it, I can add it in. But please feel free to reach out to me with any comments or concerns or questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Elkins?
Mr. Cox, I wonder whether you could pass on up to your colleagues and also to DPW that as we look forward to next year on the leaf collection, that it was not until this week in January that we actually had leaf pickup for the first time in Wesley Heights and some portions of the Palisades, and maybe we need to start a week earlier. Something. I know there were probably problems with getting enough crew members, et cetera. So I'm not being critical. It's just that we look back and try to learn from our experiences. There was a lot of concern in my neighborhood of Wesley Heights that here we are, we crossed into the new year and the leaves were still in front of our yard. So that's, I think you would agree, is not a good schedule. Thank you.
I definitely hear you, and I'd be glad to pass that up. I will say that would be controversial for the folks up in 3-4G, as their largest complaint at the start of leaf pickup was that it started too early. So I think there might be a battle there, but I'm glad to pass it along, and I'll see if going forward maybe DPW can come out to some ANC meetings and talk, basically just get a measure of the concerns of every community, every neighborhood, to because I think that two heads are better than one, and many heads from all the ANCs are probably better than two. So hopefully that things can improve as time goes on.
Yes, Commissioner Duncan.
Owen, what happens when you try and turn on your video? It seems like I have to allow everybody if I allow one person.
It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. It's okay if I don't have any anything to share, so, and I need a haircut, so maybe this is for the best.
Trisha, I was unable to figure out how to do an individual person. I think the reason the six of you are still showing is because you were a co-host before the debacle.
Okay, so if we have to call people up, maybe we make them a co-host.
I tried to make Mr. Cox a co-host and it wouldn't let me.
Because he wasn't a co-host before we turned off his camera. You can't be could you try again? Because I did unlock the meeting.
Oh, sure.
Okay, working on it. I'm just getting the same message.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, you are a co-host now, William. There you go. Okay. All right. At least we have a workaround.
Okay. Well, yes. So I'm happy for Commissioner Elkins to share your comments with our DPW partners, and if anyone else has any questions, I'm available. And then please feel free to shoot me an email if anything else comes up later.
Very good. Anyone have any questions? Seeing no questions, thank you so much. Let's move on to Councilmember Fruman's office. I don't see anyone from Councilmember Fruman's office. If you are, please raise your hand. No, I don't think so. Let's move on to American University. Jason Millison is here.
Catherine, if you spotlight him, he should be able to turn his video on. Also, was it American University that wanted to go
Yes.
in
Hey, Trisha.
discussions?
I
Hi.
appreciate that. Yes, this is Jason. I don't know if you guys, if my video doesn't get turned on, if we can't figure that out, I
You
can.
should be able to turn it on now.
Okay, let me check. Hello, everybody. How are you? I actually did reach out to you guys to secure some time a little bit later in the agenda. So with this quick update, I'll be brief. We do have a MLK Day celebration coming up for next week. Oh yeah, for the holiday, where we're basically going to have a day of service where not only just students, faculty, and staff are working our grounds and doing some volunteer activities, but also neighbors are invited to participate as well. So I'm going to send, I think if the chat's still disabled, I can send the link to sign up for that, maybe to you, Trisha, and you can filter it through the chat. Does that work?
Yep.
So yeah, so MLK Day celebration coming up at American University on the holiday itself on Monday. Please be sure to register, and all are welcome, families, all ages. And we're hosting it at Constitution Hall. It's gonna have a couple info sessions, some like thoughtful things to go along with the day. Light refreshments and food will be served, and drinks, and just a whole day of workshops where you can beautify our campus and work on other things that are going to help the district. So I'll put that in your inbox.
You are a co-host now, so you can
Oh, okay.
quickly put it in the chat.
Okay, great. I will leave that now, and then I'll let all the other institutions provide updates, and then wait my turn on the agenda for later.
Very good. I don't see anyone from George Washington. If there is someone from George Washington here to speak, please raise your hand so that we can recognize you. But I do not see Kevin. And seeing no hand raised, why don't we move to Corey Peterson?
There we go. Thanks, Trisha, for managing all of this. I know that's a challenge, and I appreciate you managing on the
So
back end.
Catherine is also behind the scenes, so we're working together on this. So I can't
Well
take
done.
all
You
the
guys are
credit, but I
tag
was the one who
teaming.
locked the meeting.
You are tag teaming it brilliantly. I appreciate just a bit of time. Just a couple of quick updates from Georgetown University. First, our new Vice President for Government Relations and Community Engagement, Adria Turner, began this last Monday. I hope that maybe we can set a few minutes in the next meeting during our update where Adria could come and properly introduce herself, but she's still getting her feet wet. For those of you who may be familiar with her, she was the Chief of Staff to the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development with DC. So we're excited to have her on board and all that she'll bring to Georgetown. Our second, similar to AU, we are doing an MLK celebration as well. Our annual celebration this year will be at Howard Theater. There we will honor Kashara Thomas. She is a local leader as the executive director for Joseph's House. And Joseph's House provides medical respite care for homeless and those suffering from HIV. And she's doing amazing work in the city. And we're excited to be able to honor her and spend a year with Joseph's House and supporting them and uplifting them in ways that Georgetown can. And then last but not least, that celebration is also open to the public. The performance will be Common, our artist Common, and you can find those tickets on Howard Theater's website. They are free. It is limited because it's a rather small theater, but if you're interested, please go to Howard Theater's website and you can potentially get tickets. I haven't looked to see if there's any still available. They were released today at noon, but we'd love to have you join us.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Mr. Peterson? Okay, seeing none. I do not see anyone from Wesley. I don't see Mr. Brown. If there's anyone else who's here to represent an institution, that raise your hand. I don't see anyone else for that, but just to make sure. Okay, I don't think so. So why don't we move on to commissioner updates? Commissioner Elkins?
Well, I could say something about Wesley, but I would refer to Commissioner Duncan. Were you going to say something about Wesley?
Do you know what? I have three things, so if you could do it, that would be great.
Well, I'm happy to report that after many, many hours of work by this commission and work by many, many other people, that the zoning commission on December 18th did vote to give Wesley the go-ahead with regard to their construction of the dormitory. And as one of the major parts of that, Wesley was able to sign an agreement with the two major opponents, the Neighbors for a Livable Community and the Spring Valley Wesley Heights Community Association, that they would not sue, which does hold the possibility that Wesley will actually be able to build this dormitory after all these years. So I want to thank my colleague, and I'm sure Commissioner Duncan would as well, for your tolerance and help as we went through many, many different discussions of Wesley. And as far as I'm concerned, and I think I'm correct about this, it is over and completed successfully and with some help from this commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Duncan.
Yes, I wanted to highlight something that was a buzz on the Palisades listserv about the DC's clean water impervious surface changes in calculations. There were a lot of increased bills. And I did post on the listserv that DC Water heard a lot of comments because they are pausing the increase and or in some cases decreases. And they're going to spend the next few months doing more community outreach to explain and hopefully get some feedback before implementing this. So we have invited them to either our February or March meeting to give a presentation. And we hope they said they would do that. So we're waiting to hear back from them. The Dale Carlia Parkway is under construction. And I went through there a couple of times today. It's going to be most disruptive between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. And right now headed northbound, which would be from Sibley to Westmoreland Circle. All other times it's down to one lane, but it wasn't terrible. I was there during rush hour today. It was totally fine. So just go slow, watch out for the workers. And then I want to put out a little, I guess, an ask and an announcement. The GW Parkway over in Virginia is now open for business. And I personally have seen a major decrease in traffic at Arizona and MacArthur in all directions. But it has been the holidays. So I am going to continue to watch this. But today, no matter what time I went through that intersection, I went either made the light or I waited one cycle, which is totally normal. So let's keep our fingers crossed that what DDOT told us they thought was happening was actually happening, and that we get some pressure relief at that intersection.
Very good. Let's see, Commissioner Colin Roosevelt.
Yeah, I was going to mention the De La Carlia Parkway. I haven't gone over there yet, but yeah, they're closing the northbound lanes until the end of this month, and then for the next 3 weeks after that, they'll be closing the southbound lanes or doing
It's
construction work.
actually, they're only doing it from like one median cut to the other. So they're sort of doing it in sections.
Really?
So it might be
Okay.
from Warren
Okay.
to Rockwood, and then Rockwood to Westmoreland Circle. Actually, earlier today, they sent, I asked for the detour
Yes, I saw
map,
that.
and they sent them to us. So, we can
So
look
if
at them.
anyone wants a detour map, thanks to Tricia, we have it. I guess also the Friends of Spring Valley Park did a cleanup a couple weeks ago, and they're going again on the 24th with DC's invasive plant management coordinator. They picked up ivy off of a lot of trees in Spring Valley Park. So if anyone's interested, you can email me and I can connect you with them. It should be fun. That's it.
Very good. Commissioner Blumenthal?
Other than also getting over a cold acquired during our time off, I don't have an update. I appreciate Commissioner Duncan's news on the GW Parkway, and we'll be watching the traffic down our street and the other nearby streets to see if it is any better over the next few weeks. Thank you.
Very good. For my report, it's not really a report, it's a question to other commissioners. The DC Board of Elections had a staffer who asked me for 30 minutes plus Q&A time to explain ranked choice voting. And I was responding that I thought that we understood ranked choice voting pretty well, and that while the staffer was welcome to come speak, 30 minutes was not appropriate. So do you all want a presentation on ranked choice voting, or you want me to limit it? Yes, Commissioner Blumenthal.
I don't think that the commissioners, and I'm going to assume most of the community members who join us, need a 30-minute explanation of how ranked choice voting works. A 5-minute explanation would be lovely. But I would be interested to hear their plans for informing the community and implementing ranked choice voting and implementing how the counts will be displayed, that sort of thing on election night. I think that would be useful.
Okay.
I imagine this is part of their plan. But I think I agree with Commissioner Blumenthal that if they could do a 10-minute or a 5-minute presentation, that would be great. But 30 minutes, I don't think we want that at one of our meetings.
Commissioner Alkins?
Just want to, I think, agree with Commissioner Blumenthal, if I understood his point, that in addition to 5 or 10 minutes for us, that coming to the ANC and giving a presentation is probably not a good use of their time. Most of the people who come to our ANC commission meetings are pretty up to speed on what's going on in the community and probably are well informed. But they're, of course, 95% of the people, 99% of the people in our community don't come to our meetings, and we need to hear from them about what they plan to do about that. Maybe we could help them, maybe on listservs, et cetera. I'm not sure what, but it's not an easy task to reach people in the community.
Okay.
We put something up on our, I don't know, something on our engagement platform. I'm not sure how that would work, but anyway, I think it is a serious concern about people understanding it, but this is the wrong audience.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you. Commissioner Simkowitz?
Thank you, Chairperson Horn. I'm pleased to report that the Canal Road cliff stabilization project is now over. At least the street is back open. We don't have to take that shuttle bus, which I never took, and I don't see anybody ever having taken it before. And if I haven't seen anybody having taken it, it probably didn't happen too often. Nobody ever said, "Hey, I rode that shuttle bus and it was really good." Usually people just would go around another way. In any event, it's over, and I think it was finished ahead of schedule, which is really good. And I have walked down on that path, and it is a little better because you don't have the overgrown weeds hitting you in the head as you're walking or riding a bike. I did a ride along at the request of Commissioner Richard Pollack, who's in ANC3B. He wanted to see how the interplay between the MPD and the federal partners worked in practice. And we got to see it in practice. It was a little bit more exciting than we had wanted or expected. We got there at 10 p.m. on a Monday night, which we thought would be a relatively slow news day. In reality, there was some sort of barricade situation going on in the first district, which is in Anacostia and the surrounding area. Apparently, somebody had shot at somebody, and they traced the gunshots where the people back to a specific house. That happened around 2 p.m. The MPD surrounded the house on all 4 sides. It was like a duplex or something, and they kept going up to the house every 15 minutes and saying, "MPD, please open the door." Once that was ignored for a certain amount of time, the MPD applied for a search and arrest warrant, which took until 1 a.m. to be approved. At 2 a.m., the police entered the house forcibly. And the way that that works, and this is why Commissioner Pollack wanted to see this, there was a perimeter set up with the 8 police officers, 2 in each car on the corners. So you had 2 in each car times 4, that's 8. The additional officers that actually entered the house were from a what I call a SWAT team. I don't know the formal name, but there were about 10 of those people going into the house, and the federal partners showed up along with that team, and the team arrived around 2 a.m. They extracted the people from the house. It took them about 10 minutes to do the whole process, and at no point in time did the federal agents do anything active. They were standing by only, which is what we were trying to figure out what they actually did. And that was the answer in this particular case. We can't say that for every case, but that's the way it worked in this one. And we ended up going home around 3 a.m. So I'd highly recommend doing ride-alongs. Officer McElwee advertises that all the time. There are 2 groups of people that wanted to speak. They've sent me emails or texts that are from my SMD. 4403 W Street is Shannon Stroud, and I ask that she be allowed to become a host so she can speak. And then 2 people from Kemble Place, aka 4800 Foxhall Crescent, and that's Kara Sheehan and Colette Goodman. They would like to speak during community concerns. So I guess we head forward with those.
Yeah, we can start with them.
Yeah, let's head over to them. Catherine, are you able to admit Shannon Stroud, Kara Sheehan, and Colette Goodman?
So Kara Sheehan helpfully raised her hand, which pops her to the top of the list.
Okay, good.
If the other participants could raise your hand, it looks like Sharon Stroud is now a co-host. Kara Sheehan is a co-host. Catherine, you're so good. Who was the last person?
Those were the 3 people.
The 3 people. Okay.
I'll introduce them just so because I'm the commissioner. 4403W is a curb cut situation. I emailed the commissioners and Catherine a photograph of what they want to do, the owner wants to do. And basically, I found out from going there in person and talking to the neighbors and the owner, there's an existing curb cut that leads to the backyard. They want to close that in with grass, moving that curb cut to a garage that's already there. And none of the direct neighbors, and Ms. Stroud can comment on that, but none of the direct neighbors had any complaints that I talked to. And it would be replacing a curb cut, not adding a new one. So Ms. Stroud can speak on that now.
And hi, everyone. No, I didn't have anything I wanted to necessarily say. I appreciate you flagging it for us, Commissioner. And I did have a question. I was just curious. Do the curb cuts need to be any sort of distance? Not that it really affects this. Like, is there any limit to the number of curb cuts you can have for one property? And do they need to be any certain distance away from another neighbor's curb cut? And that doesn't really apply here, but I was curious because there are already 2 other curb cuts for this property. Like, is there any limit?
I'm not aware of any. I'm going to defer to Commissioner Elkins or Commissioner Duncan, who handled that issue more. But there are existing curb cuts on this property, and we're not voting on anything today. It just came up in the last week when I received notice of this application. I figured we'd talk about it now, and we can have a formal hearing if necessary later. But I appreciate you coming down. Commissioner Elkins or Commissioner Duncan, can you address that?
Commissioner Elkins, you tell me if I'm saying something incorrect, but the city is moving away from new curb cuts. Replacing an existing curb cut is a lot easier and more common. Is this property already using 2 existing curb cuts?
Yeah, but they have a garage, so it makes sense, and especially like if they're closing off one, they put on a garage without a curb cut. So, and it's in a different location. I don't have an issue with it. I don't know, if JP spoke to anybody who did, but we don't have an issue with it. I was just curious, really. And if it goes case by case and there's no general rule to the number of curb cuts, like there's, I mean, I understand why they would want to pursue it.
I don't, I'm going to defer to Commissioner Elkins. I mean, there is grandfathering, just not adding curb cuts. But if they already have multiple curb cuts on their property, I don't know. Commissioner Elkins?
Well, I think these kind of questions need to be answered by DDOT, and because it's a public space use, and the applicant will need to go in front of DDOT. And by the time we get the application, most of these issues I think will have been settled. So fine to hear from the neighbors today, but I think normally it's efficient to wait for DDOT to essentially do most of the work here and essentially ask whether we see any neighborhood issues as opposed to our playing games about what we think know about what.
Yeah. I mean, Commissioner Simkowitz, did you get an alert from the top system?
I did, and that's why I went out there in person to look at this. And this is a weird property because it's on a corner, and this used to be in Commissioner Elkins' district. And one of the neighbors said, "Hi, Commissioner Elkins." He said you were very good at this, and I've got to step into your shoes, which are big shoes to fill. But the problem is that they have like a horseshoe curb cut in the front, and this is on the side, and that's why I wanted to bring this to the attention of the commission now before we go do anything else. Even though this is an official action, it's something we should be aware of for the future. And I asked the applicant, the homeowner, to talk to the neighbors and present us with something more formal that we can vote on later. But I sent a picture around. If Catherine wants to put that up, that might be helpful to show this weird garage that was built without a driveway associated with it. I mean, I don't know how it got built, but I think it was before this owner even had the property, from what I can tell. And Ms. Stroud can address that, whether that's true or not. But it looked like it had been there for a while. The garage had been there for a while, and this is just a weird case. So I figured I'd preview it for you guys, preview the highlight of this issue that may come up later. And then
So my follow-up question to you is sometimes when these things go into the top system, they give you 30 days, which is going to be before our next meeting.
Correct.
If you ask the tech that's listed there to extend it out, all of the public space curb cuts, I think, go before the public space committee. So they'll shoot it to the next thing. And in that process, you'll see if DDOT, has any objections.
Okay,
But we might need to
I think
extend.
that the reason for going out to any property for all commissioners is you get to see the weird eccentricities of each property. And what this property has is an existing curb cut that's going to be grassed over and replaced with this other one. So, we're not gaining or losing anything. It's a zero. But I did want to bring this to your attention because this issue is a very strange one that I've never seen before.
And Ms. Sheehan, did you want to speak?
They're on another issue. They're on the Kemble Place issue.
Okay. All right.
So thank you, Ms. Stroud, for coming, and we look forward to the homeowner making some sort of presentation in a future meeting. The Kemble Place issue is something that we all need to be aware of. Foxhall Crescents is a neighborhood along Foxhall Road, and it's actually 4 separate non-contiguous neighborhoods, and they're designated 4500, 4600, 4700, and 4800 block. And all of these what I consider to be cul-de-sacs or courts don't connect. So 4500 doesn't connect directly to 4600. Unfortunately, without notifying the ANC, the people at the 4800 block somehow got the street renamed as Kemble Place. So it's 4800 Kemble Place. However, in the DDOT system and the DPW system, it is apparently still, I'm sorry, the change was made to all of the Foxhall Crescent addresses. So it's 4600 Kemble Place now instead of 4600 Foxhall Crescent. 4700, 4800 Kemble Place, not Foxhall Crescent. So they changed all 4 neighborhoods, not just the one that was issued. And I've been in communication with the directors of DDOT and the director of the DMV. And the DDOT director and the DMV director are now getting together to figure out how to clean this up and reassign the 46, 47, 4800 addresses back to Foxhall Crescent. So if you live in 4600, 4700, or 4800,
No, it's
we
40,
hope to get this
4500,
changed.
4600, or 4700.
Yes, sorry about that.
It's the 4800 that is being changed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mixed up the
It's
dot.
confusing.
And hopefully that will take care of everything. And I appreciate the homeowners associations in all four of those communities for their patience while we try to figure this out. If there's anything that Ms. Sheehan or Ms. Goodman would like to add, I think the commission would like to hear that as a community concern.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Simkowitz, and to all of you. I'll be very concise. 2 years ago, our neighborhood took a vote last February of 2024 to change the name of our street from Foxhall Crescent to Kemble Place. As Commissioner Simkowitz said, there's 4 separate sections, and we all operate as 4 separate private HOAs. So we don't even really communicate with one another. We're not contiguous. And our section is the newly developed section. We don't look like the other sections at all. Our lot sizes are different. The architecture is different. And so because of that, it was our neighborhood decided to change the name of our street. Unfortunately, in this process, we really were kind of flying blind. And we went directly out to the Department of Buildings and the United States Postal Service and various departments within DC, including the Department of Transportation, the DMV, Department of Tax and Revenue. And so we reached out to all of them, and we were very clear that we were only the 4800 section was changing from Foxhall Crescent to Kemble Place. And we also provided all of those departments with a list of the residents. We're not required to re-record our deeds, interestingly, because deeds are recorded by square and lot number, not by address. So that was fortunate. And we were not required to go through any jurisdictional processes because we are a private HOA. So since taking that vote almost 2 years ago, it has now started to, for lack of a better word, trickle down into the various departments within DC, the mapping, so we've made progress because we've been actually impatient trying to get the street name change done. As a matter of fact, over a year ago, we ordered a new street sign to be changed from Foxhall Crescent to Kemble Place, and I keep getting notices that it's been closed out and it's been handled, but our street sign still says Foxhall Crescent, which is a bit of a safety concern for us, but that's another matter. But point is, the 4500, 4600, and 4700, there must have been some clerk somewhere, possibly at DDOT, who was overzealous and changed everybody, but just in that area. It's not showing up in tax and revenue. It's not showing up in, I'm a real estate broker. It's not showing up in public records. It's not showing up in mapping. But the people of the 4500, 4600, and 4700, when they're trying to register their cars, when they're getting new cars, are saying that their address is now Kemble Place. So Commissioner Simkowitz has been so helpful trying to reach out to the appropriate parties so that we can get this corrected. I've been to the DMV 3 times. They've told me that that's not the case. 4500, 4600, 4700 show Foxhall Crescent, but it's clearly coming from somewhere. And we want to help the other Foxhall Crescent sections get this figured out because it's a huge nuisance for them.
The good news is that the directors themselves are handling this, so please don't go to DMV and talk to a regular clerk, because this has been elevated to the highest levels.
Yeah.
And maybe that will help. But this really, the reason I wanted to bring this to the commission today is this is a safety problem. Because if you live in one of the other neighborhoods and you have a 911 call, you call 911, say you live at 4600 Foxhall Crescent. Right now, in certain databases, it's listed as Kemble Place, so that could be a problem. So
it is.
If you know anybody, and maybe Commissioner Duncan, who handles the relations with the Palisade listserv, maybe we can get the message out that there's this problem, and if you call 911, be sure to use both addresses in case they can't find you. That would ensure that you'll get the service you need.
Yeah, and this is Colette Goodman. Also, Tricia, Jeff Bolleton has joined the meeting, and he's with the 4600 Foxhall Crescents. If you could give him access as well, that would be helpful. This has proven very, very stressful to residents in the 4500, 4600, and 4700 HOA neighborhoods. I myself am waiting for a car registration, and it's taking a long time, and I'm very nervous. When the dealer first informed me that DMV said you need to change your address, it doesn't reflect the current address, and I explained to them the problem, and it's just very unfortunate that this was not coordinated with other neighborhoods, and we had we were never informed about it. And you can see how a city would say, there's a street named Foxhall Crescent. You don't usually have several streets in a city with the same name. And so this should have been, worked out much more carefully, if at all. I personally don't think Kemble Place is better than Foxhall Crescents, but in terms of a name, but it has been extremely problematical.
Well, the good news is that we've got the highest people onto this issue, and hopefully we'll get it resolved by our February meeting. If it doesn't, we may need to bring it up for a formal resolution to the DC government to make sure that this has been throughout the whole system of the DC government database. It's corrected, but right now it seems to be limited to the DMV and DDOT.
Yeah, and frankly, Carrie, you're saying this is all private neighborhood, but why are you having the city then put the street name? That's a public.
Well, I can tell you this. There is a street. I went out there today myself. There is a public street sign adjacent to that neighborhood. So we have to get that changed. So there are some things that we can help you guys collectively as ANC commissioners and as a commission itself. So please let us know if there's any problems, because if we don't know about it, we can't do anything for you.
All right. And Jeff, did you want to say anything?
No, I think it's not just new car registration, it's renewal of your existing registration as well. And it also applies to violations that are caught by cameras. Those are being sent to Kemble Place, not to 4600 or 4500 Foxhall Crescents. And if they don't get there, of course, they double, and double. So that situation really needs to be remedied, and appreciate the ANC commissioner addressing that, and hopefully the heads of those two departments. I noticed that the Department of Taxation and Revenue has not noticed any change. So those continue to be the proper Foxhall Crescents. It looks like the Department of Transportation.
Well, if anybody receives information to the wrong address, please let us know, because then I and the commission itself, we can talk to the people that need to be talked to about that. So either as an individual commissioner, or the commissioner, the commission as a whole. So please let us know, and we can address this during our commission meeting in February if it's still ongoing.
I did, just for what it's worth, I did speak with the and I don't have the name in front of me, but I did speak with the person at the Postal Service who handles all 4 neighborhoods. And we had a very extensive conversation, so that hopefully, regardless of what the mail says, it's going to get to you. They know the problem, and they know if it said, say, 4606 and it Kemble and it's supposed to say Foxhall Crescent, they're still going to deliver it to you. So we have spent a lot of time and effort to try to. We don't know where it comes from, but it will get fixed, I'm sure. But we have spent a lot of time trying to make sure that you're as you're not as inconvenienced as you already are. We're trying to at least from a practical standpoint, make sure that you get all of your mail and there's no issues.
Thank you, everybody. We'll be in touch next month if there's still a problem.
Thank you.
And thank you, Commissioner Simkowitz, for bringing this up to us. Quite a disruptive disaster, which hopefully will be fixed soon. Let me ask if there's anyone else who wants to bring up community issues that aren't already on the agenda. If you do, raise your hand. Otherwise, we will go right to discussions. And the first discussion will be Jason Millison. Seeing no hands raised, why don't we go to Jason?
I do have my hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't see the yellow. Go ahead.
I just had an issue. We have two houses in the 4600 block of Vauxhall Crescents that have no water service and didn't know if anybody else in the adjoining neighborhood had that same experience.
We have, as far as I know, we have not in 4500 Vauxhall Crescents.
Thank you. No one else has? Okay.
I see a hand raised. Missy? Trisha, do you see that?
Yeah, Catherine, can you spotlight Missy and have them turn on their camera before we let them unmute?
Thanks. Hi.
Hi.
One other community issue, I think, I'm not sure if this qualifies, but I just wanted to raise a potential traffic issue at the intersection, near the intersection of Garfield and Foxhall. There has been a trailer that blocks the lane of traffic on Garfield Street for months now. I think it has a Michigan plate. I'm not sure why it remains there, but it creates problematic traffic during rush hours at the entire intersection. And I was just hoping that could maybe be looked into. Or why it's there and how long it needs to remain.
Is it in a parking space or not?
I guess technically it would be allowed to be street parking. I'm not positive, but it's so wide that I think it extends beyond what would be a normal parking space. So it causes the whole street there to turn into one lane. And it's impossible for cars to turn the corner, off Foxhall.
Right. I think it's in my district. Well, I'll bring by there tomorrow and take a look. Thank you very much for bringing it.
Thanks.
I know this, Chuck. Does it ever move during the day or is it always there?
I think it covers some sort of road work that is periodically. I'm not there during the daytime, so I'm not sure how much.
Okay.
I assume
construction
Commissioner
is going
Elkins knows this well, but I learned restrictions on the size of commercial vehicles parked on side streets and the parking. I got through the 311 line. They're very prompt. They will come out and write tickets. They were willing to do it on a Sunday afternoon for a commercial vehicle that was being stored on our block.
Well, Commissioner, are you saying because it was particularly wide or just because it was parked there?
There's a restriction on the size.
Okay.
Wide, width, length, if it's a commercial vehicle, time of day, if it's blocking a crosswalk or it's too close to the intersection, that can be an issue too. I was very impressed with how responsive they were. And I didn't call as a commissioner. I just called as a citizen.
Good. Well, that's very thankful. Helpful. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to Mr. Millison.
Okay. Thank you all. I'm going to share my screen real quick. I think that worked here. Hold on a second. Move that out of the way. Great. So I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. We have a new program that the Office of Community Relations and the Athletic Department at American University is starting off. It's called the AU Neighborhood Fan Club. This is a big deal for us here in the Community Relations Office because we're working side by side with athletics to kind of create a different type of experience specifically for Ward 3 DC residents who attend any of our sporting events. So we wanted to kick this off. You'll be hearing about this on social media, on Nextdoor, on all of our channels, and on our e-newsletter that I'm hoping most of you receive if you're on this call. We're going to be kicking off this program that allows all residents of Ward 3 to purchase a membership, is what we're calling it, for our fan club for just $50, and allows you to have 4 free sideline, or not free, but after you make the $50 purchase, 4 sideline seats for a future home game of your choosing, and a year's worth of membership that gives you a lot of VIP experiences, such as locker room tours at our new Meltzer Center, coach meet and greets, opportunities to set up your kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids with opportunities to meet and greet with coaches and players, youth development opportunities, and special priority to some of our summer camps for all of our varsity sports, and just an overall kind of elevated experience specifically for Ward 3 DC residents. We came up with this program because we want to kind of foster the relationship between local neighbors and, having a home team right there in their backyard with affordable pricing and a lot of different perks and options to come see games more often. And so I wanted to take a little bit of extra time and show some of our marketing for this. There's also a QR code that, I was going to put it in the chat with just the link, but since I was having trouble accessing the chat earlier, Trisha, I'll send that to you when I'm done speaking here. But just wanted to kind of showcase this, let everybody know that that's happening, that it's going to be unveiled soon this week on Friday. We're pushing out the information. And then we have a big game on Monday, men's basketball versus Navy. We're the reigning champs in the Patriot League for basketball. Our sports are on the rise all over the place. We had a regular season championship in volleyball, a regular season championship in lacrosse, and a regular season championship in men's soccer recently in the fall. So while sports are on the rise, we really feel like it's a good idea to strike while the iron's hot. Give local families something to do on, during the winter on cold nights, to have an indoor entertainment destination that is affordable, that's family friendly. And we will be there on Monday. I'll be passing out kind of the free swag that we've got. We've got mini championship banners that we're going to be passing out on Monday night to try to entice people to sign up for this program. So I wanted to bring this up now and not in the earlier portion because I didn't want to take too much time or, need to share my screen, but also to see if there were any questions or things that we could any feedback from the community in general, as this is the first neighborhood centric fan club that AU has ever created, the first program of its kind for athletics, where we kind of weave in the focus of our office with athletics as well. So just wanted to present that to this group. So, for general awareness. And of course, I'll send all the information that needs to be sent so it can be shared amongst your distribution networks. And like I said, $50, and it's a year-long membership. So for our ticketed sports like basketball and volleyball, men's and women's basketball, we're going to have the special deals, the standing discount, and the opportunities to get closer to the game with the sideline seats and the opportunities to do VIP stuff. And then for our non-ticketed events, there's going to be for sports such as field hockey, men's soccer, and lacrosse, where tickets are essentially free, and we just encourage people to come and show up and support our team. We're going to have other activations that get families on the field for those, other activations that get you closer to the team, and smaller but more intimate events that are specifically just for Ward 3 residents that kind of really build the community here locally around AU sports. So I wanted to let everybody know that and give kind of a broad little spiel. And now, take questions for a moment if anyone has any. And if not, I can turn it back over to you guys.
Commissioner Duncan?
Jason, I just want to say I think this is like a terrific idea. And I'm going to promote this on our community listserv. And I think we have a lot of families here who hopefully will take advantage of this. I think this is well done, AU. I think this is really great.
That is music to my ears. That's exactly what we're going for. There's so many families around the area, so many young families around the area, moving in and, all of those things that we kind of see. And it's just like, how do we, service those folks and how do we make it so that we're their home team, especially if we're right in the backyard. So I appreciate those sentiments, Tricia.
Any other questions?
I saw Commissioner Elkins with some emojis.
Yeah.
So he's also an approval.
All right.
Well, I will stop sharing my screen and thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Among the discussions, we have the Office of Campaign Finance, but I did not see Dolores Ramsey listed. Is anyone here from Office of Campaign Finance to speak? I don't think so. So I think we'll skip that and maybe we'll do it another time. Moving to official actions. 3045 University Terrace, public space. Commissioner Elkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have here what I think is a fairly straightforward or very straightforward application for a public space change, essentially to close out an existing curb cut and install a new one in the driveway and a lead a walkway up to the house. During the consideration of this, Andrew Heimert of the Transportation Committee asked whether this house was allowing enough room for sidewalks, and we got a good positive answer back. The answer is yes. And so this is very straightforward, and I had provided information with drawings to the commissioners, and if there are any questions, be glad to take them. Otherwise, I would move that we provide a recommendation of no objection to this public space permit.
Is there a second? Commissioner Duncan seconds. Is there any questions or comments about this? Seeing none, let's move to a vote. All in favor? 6-0 in favor. Very good. Let's move to 2900 Glover Drive, a BZA application. Commissioner Elkins.
This is also a case that I think is fairly straightforward. The applicant has an enclosed porch existing and would like to enclose it, essentially make it part of the house. There's no increase in the footprint. All the neighbors have signed documents essentially saying they have no objection. I see no reason why we should object as well. So I'm suggesting that we, in this case, it's on the expedited review agenda for the Board of Zoning Adjustment, and there's no need for us to take any action to actually intervene. What they do provide is, if we don't want it to have an expedited review and want to have a hearing, we can object. I'm suggesting we not do so, and instead we remain silent in this regard, which is our way of saying we have no objection to this expedited review and the approval by the BZA of this enclosure of this porch. So I'm moving that we proceed with no action, which results in having a position of no objection. I'm looking for a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Duncan seconds. Is there any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? 6 votes in favor. That's unanimous. Moving on to Reservoir Road traffic calming DDOT letter, Commissioner Duncan.
Before I call for a motion, I just wanted to let the public know that on our website there was a 4928 Weaver Terrace BZA. That actually was supposed to be Indian Lane, but we are taking that up next month. So if you see that and you're confused on the website, we're not dealing with that. And I also have the wrong address. But motion on the floor is to approve a letter to DDOT making some recommendations for Reservoir Road traffic calming. Do I have a second? Commissioner Simkowitz seconds the motion. This was something that was worked on very hard by the members of the Transportation Committee. This is the section of Reservoir Road near the lab school. And just to recap quickly, it's asking for 4 things. It wants to adjust the school zone signs to expand around lab. There's more details in the letter. Painting of the ghost sidewalks adjacent to the intersection at 47th Street. A regular crosswalk has giant hash marks. A ghost sidewalk is just the 2 lines. Most new sidewalks are the ones with the big bright lines. So we'd like that installed. Installation of bulb outs, those are actual curb extensions that are, I believe, like the best thing to calm down traffic and slow down cars. And installation of a westbound speed camera downhill on Reservoir Road. And there was some discussion at the Transportation Committee meeting about leaving this a little open-ended to DDOT, saying, hey, these are all of our ideas, but we'd really like for you to take a look at this intersection. There's a lot of people walking here, especially in the afternoons and the mornings. And so we sort of put it in DDOT's hands to use their experience to identify the most effective approaches to calm traffic here. That's the end of my spiel. Does anyone have any other comments? Commissioner Blumenthal, did you have anything to add?
Do you want to make a motion and we'll get a second?
I did. I think Commissioner Simkowitz seconded
Oh,
my
you're
motion.
right. I am so sorry. Yes. Is there any questions? And yes, Commissioner Elkins.
I'm a little concerned about this last sentence that basically could be read by DDOT as well. We don't need to do anything because they're asking for our best judgment. We'll get to that one of these days. Might we add a sentence as a friendly amendment here that we would ask that the department move quickly to assess this situation and to install appropriate solutions?
I thought about this because one of these recommendations has a TSI number associated with it. And I'm going to ask my other commissioners, what if I just went ahead and made a TSI request for the rest of these? And then we just insert the numbers. This is under TSI this is under TSI that, this is under TSI. All right, I'll take that as a friendly amendment.
All right.
Okay.
That address what Commissioner Elkins recommended?
Well, I guess
think so.
I'm a little worried that you read through all these recommendations that you get to the end of the letter and it says, you know, we rely on DDOT to make these decisions, which of course we do, but why are we writing this letter if we don't think these are pretty darn good solutions? Some of them are so straightforward.
Yeah, and I guess I sometimes I read that last sentence as we believe that any of the solutions above and perhaps others that we haven't thought of. Okay, let's reword this. ANC3D relies, we'll strike that entire last paragraph and I'll list the four TSI numbers.
I think that would strengthen the letter.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions or discussion? All right. All in favor of the amended letter? Aye. 6 in favor, none against. Very good. Let's move to stop sign camera at Arizona and Loughborough DDOT letter.
Motion on the floor is to send this letter to DDOT asking them to consider moving a stop sign camera to the intersection of Loughborough and Arizona. Do I have a second? Commissioner Simkowitz seconds the motion. I was contacted by a resident who lives at the top of this hill who said that nobody is stopping at the stop sign and that there are accidents there, collisions there, sorry, all the time. And we talked about this at the Transportation Committee, and Christoph, our DDOT liaison, said that the city has 33 stop sign cameras. They are all deployed, and occasionally they start to evaluate other locations as those stop signs basically start working, start making people stop so they're not capturing as many. And so I thought this letter would put this intersection in the queue. It's basically, we were told you can't just say, hey, put a stop sign camera here. They don't do that. There is a process, and this letter puts this intersection into the queue of, hey, take a look at this the next time you're moving cameras around.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of this letter? 6-4, that's unanimous. Let's move to street erosion at Sherrier and Nebraska Avenue. Commissioner Duncan?
Motion on the floor is to approve this letter to DDOT asking them to urgently address the erosion at Sherrier Place and Nebraska Avenue. Do I have a second? Commissioner Cologne Roosevelt seconds my motion. I hope you all opened this letter and looked at the pictures of what is happening here. There's some serious erosion that's been going on here for quite some time, but DDOT just replaced some water mains and lead pipes around that section. This is where Nebraska Avenue ends at the trolley trail as it comes around to Sherrier, and it sort of kisses the trolley trail there. The land directly adjacent to the roadway is National Park Service land. And so the roadway is actually fairly wide, but when DDOT repaved this road, it is now even more slanted away from the downhill side. So there's a ditch forming, and the gravel's coming out from under the road. In a storm, it crosses the road, dumps down into a ditch by the trolley trail. And what is needed there is a curb and gutter. And DDOT is aware of this problem. They have been out to the site. There's a history in the letter of what is going on. But since the road has been repaved, I would elevate this to urgent. So I contacted Christoph, and he wrote me back today. He said that DDOT is aware of the issue. It's sort of on their list, but they didn't think it was urgent. But I got the sense that he was glad for this letter because we have these new pictures of what kind of erosion is happening there now that the road is, changed a little bit. So maybe we can get that curb and gutter. On that side of Sherrier that comes up, that's the last bit of Sherrier that has that. And then I think from Cambridge to Cushing, maybe, or another street, they also don't have curb and gutters. I'm loath to try and tie this all in together. I just want this one spot fixed. I think it's really important.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, why don't we vote? All in favor of this letter? 6 in favor, it's unanimous. Let's move on to legal decision on Bollinger case, Commissioner Simkowitz.
Chairman, as
Oh, wait a second, I see a hand.
point of order,
Yes.
we have skipped over, I think, the ANC priorities, and I think we could probably take care of that fairly quickly before we get into this other issue.
I thought we were moving priorities to commission business.
I thought he said official actions. If I misunderstood, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to make it the first thing in commission business, so it would be the thing immediately after the Bollinger case.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman. I misunderstood. Thank you.
But I see a hand raised by Regina Richardson.
Okay, she's been made co-host now.
Can you unmute and tell us? Ms. Richardson? Ms. Richardson? You should be unmuted.
It looks like she's unmuted. Mr. Chairman, I would suggest we stop making her a co-host.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my email in the chat, and I will, if she has something that she would like to say, she can email me.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the legal decision on the Bollinger case. Commissioner Simkowitz.
Hi, my name is JP Simkowitz. I'm the commissioner for single member District 387, which includes the area where this collision occurred. There was a collision between a car and a pedestrian, and that was back in the summer of 2024. The driver of the vehicle was operating a vehicle that had apparently been cited for several tickets for speeding that totaled $3,800, and in my opinion, the car should not have been on the road, and that's a separate issue that we need to discuss across the board. How cars can get up that high with traffic tickets. But the main issue that we have is that when there's an accident of this magnitude, the U.S. attorney would have the primary jurisdiction to do something. That's the federal prosecutor in D.C. And for some reason, they declined to prosecute the case. I have two resolutions to present today that I'm going to ask for a second for in a minute. And they're the same letter with a different ask at the end. The letter to the U.S. attorney is asking for an explanation of why that office declined to prosecute the case for either vehicular homicide or reckless driving. Once that was not prosecuted by the federal system, our local attorney general received the case, and the charges that were filed by that office was failure to stop and give right of way to a pedestrian. And again, that office is not allowed under our law to charge a felony such as vehicular homicide. But I've been trying to figure out for a year now, probably, why that hasn't been charged as reckless driving. I sent several emails and we haven't gotten any substantive response. And so I'm asking the DC Attorney General to explain the thought process of why the case was prosecuted as a failure to yield and not a reckless driving. So I ask for a second for this.
I'll second.
Thank you. I think that's all that I have to add on this issue. We're just asking for an explanation of what happened, you know, and the explanation could be simple, or it could be complex. But you know, I think that we are entitled as a community to some kind of answer, both from the U.S. Attorney's Office and the D.C. Attorney General's office.
Any discussion or questions? Yes, Commissioner Elkins.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not in favor of ANC taking a position on these letters at this time. And at the appropriate time, after we've had discussion, I will move that we table these letters until July. Postpone consideration, I think is the technical term under Robert's Rules of Orders. Postpone discussion or action on these until July. My concern have nothing to do with Commissioner Simkowitz personally. I have full respect of his integrity. He has no conflict of interest here, but I do think there is an issue of concern to the Commission for reasons why we should not act on this at this time. And that is my understanding, and perhaps the Commissioner can tell me I'm wrong about this, that he has begun raising finances for a possible run to the office of Attorney General of the District of Columbia, which is commendable and is perfectly consistent with his being a commissioner. I see no problem, and people should run for offices where they feel that they can do it. What bothers me is that these letters, particularly pages 3 through 5, are essentially an attack on the performance of the current DC attorney in terms of their failing to perform. And it seems to me that can be seen as a involvement of this commission in a campaign, which we should avoid. And the reason this comes to mind in particular is that a much more serious, extremely serious case that has no direct comparison to this case has just been exposed by the DC auditor over in Ward 8, where one of the commissioners was running for higher office, and apparently with collusion with his colleagues, perhaps, used city funds to help him in his campaign. That is not what is involved here, but what really struck me by that report and the reaction of commissioners all over the city to that report, which was available to all of us commissioners on our email system, is that it's important for ANC commissions to make it very clear that they are not in any way aiding or abetting, inadvertently, unintentionally, perhaps, the campaign of anyone running for office. And I think that a way of avoiding this particular possible interpretation of our behavior is not to take any action tonight, but to instead postpone this action until after the primary in June and take this up in our July meeting. Quite frankly, I think that the substance is such that it will still be quite current in July. Time will not diminish the importance of this issue, because this is, I believe, I think all of us believe this is a generic issue, not just with regard to this particular member of our community who was killed. So that is my concern, and I've expressed it to the Commissioner Simkowitz. And at the appropriate time, Mr. Chairman, I would ask permission to make a motion in that regard, but I don't want to make it now because it might cut off um, other discussion. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Duncan.
I also have some comments on the merits of this letter, and some of the substance. First and foremost, Patty Bollinger's name is with a U. It's Bollinger, not Bollinger. It's Bull. On page 3, under the procedural background, the letter says the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia failed to bring charges against the driver, which resulted in the Office of the Attorney General for the District of Columbia taking the case. Upon receiving the case from the United States Attorney General for the District of Columbia, the Office of the Attorney General for the District of Columbia filed charges in Superior Court for the District of Columbia for failure to stop and give right-of-way to a pedestrian. First, I would like to say the U.S. Attorney's Office didn't fail to bring charges. They declined to bring charges. MPD told us they declined to bring charges because they didn't think they could get a conviction. There's no need to ask
That
in
might
this
be
letter.
the answer, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not running for the office of the United States Attorney. I think the
Okay,
United
let me
States
finish
Attorney
my
should provide
comments,
their
because
response.
let
But
me finish my comments and then you will have your turn to speak. Mr. Chair, please. When a like we were told I was told when a driver strikes a pedestrian and there is no impairment of the driver, apparently it's harder to get a conviction. And secondly, for the record, I would like to say that the U.S. Attorney's Office did not refer this case to the TC Attorney General's office. MPD sent the case to the criminal division of the DC Attorney General's office after the USAO declined. Myself and the MPD officers followed up with the AG to make sure this case got attention, and it did. And the family of the victim called me after the fact and said that the whole process was very meaningful to them and they were satisfied with the outcome. Personally, I think this counts for a lot. And if there's any outrage at this outcome, it's that I think the Bullingers got more attention than most in this sort of circumstances. We've discussed this all before, and what the real problem is are the laws on the books. Under current law, it does not seem there is a way to even revoke a driver's license when the driver's not impaired. To me, it would be more practical and actually help a lot more for everyone in the city if we were writing to the council to get better laws on the books. I expressed this sentiment the last time we discussed this. I could get behind this. I'm a no on this letter. Like, yes, we are all outraged, but a letter expressing this outrage at the U.S. Attorney and the D.C. Attorney General's office demanding for prosecutorial decisions changes nothing. It changes nothing. I think it makes us look silly. I'm voting no on this letter, and I would like for the commission to do a different tact and try and get the laws upgraded.
Thank you. Commissioner Simkowitz, you'd like to speak?
So I've been a lawyer for 31 years. I've gone into the District Court of Maryland, I've gone into DC Superior Court, and I've gone into the General District Court for the various districts in Virginia. And if you are speeding 21 miles an hour or over, it's reckless driving everywhere. If you're weaving in and out of traffic without signaling or crossing lines unlawfully, you will be charged with reckless driving in every jurisdiction. If you hit a pedestrian who's in a crosswalk, 99 out of 100 times in the General District Court in Virginia, in the DC Superior Court before recent years, or in the District Court of Maryland, you will be charged with reckless driving. The failure of the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I'm not running for U.S. Attorney. You can't run for that. So at least you should send a letter to the U.S. Attorney and ask a simple question. Why didn't you bring these charges? That is a disgusting. No, I'm talking right now. I want to know, and I've been asking before I ran for DC Attorney General, I wanted to know why this has not been prosecuted. You yourself, Commissioner Duncan, published a Twitter feed that got thousands of hits. And it's available today if anybody wants to look at it. And you were asking the same questions as I am. Why? And the answer that is given to you by a police officer is not the answer from the U.S. Attorney's Office. The U.S. Attorney's Office should have answered you, it should have answered me, should have answered this commission, and said, we didn't bring charges for vehicular homicide or any other charge because, and they give their answer. That might be the answer. Maybe they felt that Patty Bollinger was responsible for her own death by running through the intersection without looking. We don't know that. Maybe she was running without looking. I doubt it. She was an elderly lady. But in any event, the way that this accident happened, and I went out there with Commissioner Elkins to the scene a short time after it happened, and we watched how the light cycles were. There is a prima facie case for reckless driving here. When you were the first car, like the driver was, you're making a left-hand turn onto Foxhall Road. And the fact that neither prosecutor brought a charge of reckless driving needs to be addressed by this commission because it happened in our district. And if somebody was impaired or not, that's completely immaterial to the charge of reckless driving. And I encourage you to read the law on reckless driving, and you'll see that it does not require impairment.
Yes, Commissioner Duncan.
I would just like to reiterate, I am a no because I think that this letter changes nothing.
Okay. Is there anyone else?
So I'd like to respond to that. So what we should just let a stupid decision by two separate prosecutors go unpunished?
Oh, so your letter is to embarrass and punish people and not to make change? I'm more of a no than ever. I don't operate that way, and I would never ask Commissioner Horn to sign a letter intended to embarrass something. We are here about making changes.
This is to embarrass the two prosecutors that are responsible for this to doing a better job in the future.
Yeah, and then the victim showed up at our last meeting and said that she doesn't want this. Their family is totally happy. And I know you disregard all of that because you think the public has concern. If we embarrassing people publicly, which I don't even think these people will be embarrassed because they're going to say that every jury out there is going to have one person on there that puts themselves in the driver's shoes and they have sympathy and they're not going to send that person to jail. I would rather see the laws change. I'm a no.
So let me address that issue. The family is not the victim here. The society as large is the victim here. The society of the neighbors that we live around here are the victim here. The people, the relatives of the pedestrian that died, are entitled to notice. They're entitled to give their position on the issues here. But we, the people, are the victims here. It's like a domestic violence case. I've been to court hundreds of times when there have been people brought up for domestic violence, and in some of those cases, the spouse that alleged, a battery says, "I don't want you to prosecute," and the prosecutor says, "I respect your request, but I'm still going to prosecute this case."
Yes, Commissioner Elkins.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we postpone consideration of these two letters until the July meeting, and ask for a second.
Before we do that, I'd like to ask Commissioner Elkins, have you received any ethical opinion as to the propriety of these resolutions? Because I did. I asked the general counsel of the ANC, and the general counsel's name is Denise Victor, and I provided her answer to the commission. Did she find any ethical impropriety with this, Commissioner Elkins?
I understand.
No. I second Commissioner Elkins' motion.
Did she, Commissioner Elkins?
First of all, I think you are not able to ask that question because of my motion, but putting that aside, I think it was clear from her answer that she did not understand that you were running or planned to run or hoped to run for the office, which you spend 3 pages in this letter criticizing.
Yeah, I don't think she was. My belief is that she was addressing financial conflict of interest, and clearly there is none. And I think conflict of interest is not really the issue here. It's not a legal conflict of interest. It's a question of propriety or what's appropriate for a commission to do. I do think that this motion is a privileged motion and that we're supposed to vote, but I would like to let Commissioner Colin Roosevelt speak since he has his hand raised.
Yeah, so I guess given the concerns with maybe the letter to the Attorney General, I was wondering if it would be better to simply take a vote on the letter to the U.S. Attorney's Office. And also, I noticed Andrew Beath is in the audience and has his hand raised, and we should probably let him say something.
I think that that's fine. Again, I think we're going against parliamentary procedure strictly, but let's let Mr. Beath speak. Briefly, I hope.
Yeah, I'll try to be brief. Thanks, Colin. Look, I just putting aside, the technical issues around conflict of interest, proprietary and everything, I think we need to get an answer from this, whether there's an answer that it doesn't necessarily need to be public, but we need to understand the rationale that both of these entities entered into in making this decision. Because I don't think any of us, I think JP is completely right. We are being victimized by the driving that we see, by the complete inability of our city agencies to hold reckless drivers to account, to sanction drivers that recklessly speed, that endanger every other road user. We are endangered by that. We are victimized by that every day. And we need to understand why what it is that the two prosecuting agencies need to hold these drivers to account, right? Clearly something is amiss, right? In terms of the lack of their inability to obtain the evidence that they need to prosecute. The sooner that we can figure that out, what exactly it is they need, the better we will be able to advise and the council and the mayor and others to make a decision, to then implement whatever legislation they need to do or take whatever action they need to do in order to be able to ensure that these kinds of drivers are prosecuted. So anyway, long story short, I think we certainly should be a dialogue. We do need that information. We do need answers. So that we can then speak with Councilmember Fruman and others and encourage them to take the action that they need to do in order to make our streets safer. So, I'm supportive of this. I just hope that there's one way that we can get around the potential ethical conflicts that exist to get the answers that we need from these two agencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Elkins.
Well, just to clarify the motion, I am not suggesting that we kill these letters. I'm suggesting we postpone action on them until July, when I think either in July or in December, depending on how the election goes, we will no longer have this problem that I've identified. Secondly, I heard a suggestion that we vote on the letter to the U.S. attorney. If you read that letter, you realize, no, it's the same letter, and it is several pages of criticism of the performance of the current occupant of the office, which Commissioner Simkowitz has decided to run for, which is perfectly fine for him to run for that. I just don't think the ANC should be writing something that could be interpreted as campaign material for him. Thank you.
All right, I think it's time to vote on the motion to postpone. All in favor of the motion to postpone?
Before we do that, I ask any commissioner that has contributed to the Brian Schwab campaign to recuse themselves financially.
I don't think that's appropriate, but if anyone wants to recuse themselves that's how it works.
I shall recuse.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion to postpone this, aye?
And I will recuse.
All right.
I'm not sure
And
we
all
have
those
I'm
against?
not sure we have a quorum then.
You've got 4 commissioners. You have a quorum.
The quorum's just the people present at the meeting, not the people voting.
There's also 4 as a quorum.
And I take it, Commissioner Simkowitz, that you're against this, so
Correct.
it's
3-1-2.
3-1-2. All right. Let's move on to ANC 2026 priorities. Is Commissioner Elkins handling this or Commissioner Duncan?
Substantively, it is the Transportation Committee's recommendation. So I would just say as an introduction and then turn it over um, to the chair of the Transportation Committee that traditionally now for I think 3 years we have tried to be proactive in looking ahead to the year and not just wait for what comes over the transom to act on, but instead to be proactive in looking for things that need to be changed in our neighborhood and across the district. And the Transportation Committee has once again identified a number of such initiatives, many of which, if we waited for the Transportation Department to recommend, we would be here long past the time that any of us would be serving as commissioners. So that is the purpose of this, and I leave then to Commissioner Duncan the substance of it.
Okay, hold on. I am rearranging my screen here. Thank you. I'm going to start with a motion, I think. The motion is to approve the 2026 priorities for ANC3D Transportation Committee. Do I have a second? Commissioner Roosevelt seconds the motion. Hopefully you all had a chance to look through it. We have a number of areas of safety improvement for all modes of transportation around our schools, Canal Road, MacArthur intersection. Let's see if we can get some changes to the TSI. One of the things we can do is ask every mayoral candidate what they plan to do with the TSI system. Advocacy to the council. A big thing this year is going to be the pedestrian bridge and the trolley trail. Oversight, better data collection. Another category is buses. That has been huge for me. I have actually started taking the bus a little bit more, and we need better bus in our neighborhood, and I think I might be working on that for the next 10 years of my life. Even trying to get like a bus stop with benches over near the high school so the students aren't sitting on everyone's stoop. There's just so many things that could be done to make the bus better. Bicycle network. We've got a lot of people in the Transportation Committee who are interested in bike infrastructure and how this method integrates with our roadways. Of course, we're always going to be about sidewalks. Sort of a catch-all, we've got our stormwater project in Spring Valley. We have something on the electric vehicles in the city, and I want to add one thing that Chairman Horn and I discussed after this list was published that I think I want to add here. We want to take a deep dive into the sidewalk repair program. We think there's a lot of waste and abuse, if not fraud, involved in that. And Commissioner Horn and I discussed really taking a deep dive into that because if we can save some money there, maybe we can get some new sidewalks built. But was a last minute thing that Chairman Horn and I discussed. Are there any other comments? All right, Chairman, I think we can call the question.
Yeah, I thought it was a great job. All in favor of these priorities? 6 in favor, it's unanimous. Moving to the 2026 meeting dates. So the meeting dates that I propose that have been distributed are the first Wednesday of each month, except that in April it moves to April 8th instead of the 1st, because the 1st is the beginning of Passover. And that's the only change from first Wednesday of the month. Is there any discussion? Yes, Commissioner Elkins.
It just occurred to me, we usually in this calendar indicate whether we plan to meet in August and December, with the understanding that we can always change. But I think at least this last year we tried not. Well, did we meet in August or not? I can't remember. Anyway, usually we mark August and December as possible months off.
Okay. Should we do that?
I think that's why they're asterisks.
It does.
I see.
So there's asterisks next to those dates, and then the asterisk means if needed. So
That's
proposed.
My fault. I didn't see the asterisks.
My fault too. I didn't see that. That's excellent.
All right. All in favor of these proposed meeting dates? 6 in favor. It's unanimous. The next matter is the treasurer's report for December. Commissioner Elkins.
Mr. Chairman, we started with $33,050 in the checking account. Ended up with $32,167 with some expenditures, particularly our administrator and our transcript preparer, and also our subscription for the hosting of our website. And so we are in good financial condition, spending according to our budget. And I think there's no need to approve this, but this is my report as treasurer, which is required by statute that I inform you every month about how your money is being spent.
Very good. Any questions of the treasurer? Okay, let's move to the 5 treasurer-related resolutions. Commissioner Elkins?
And I appreciate the tolerance of my colleagues in going through these fairly trivial matters, but quite frankly, and I think it's a good thing, the people downtown are becoming quite strict about the handling of finances, and occasionally we don't have a document written up in quite the right way, and they keep coming back to us. And this is my attempt to try to deal with that, individual cases of that right now, but also have a decision by the commission where I won't have to come back on some of these in the future, because you will have already approved these kinds of minor changes. And I will be asking our secretary to make sure that these resolutions are put in word for word in the minutes so that we have a full record. So with that, we have a case where we have used our debit card to pay for the subscription for our web hosting, and we need to approve the use of that debit card in that particular instance. But I'm proposing a resolution that says ANC3D hereby approves the future use of the debit card to pay legitimate voices for the Wix website hosting, the Dropbox document hosting, and the renting of the ANC3D domain name for the current and future fiscal years, thereby obviating the need for the Commission to approve each instance of these uses of the debit card in an open meeting of the Commission. This approval is given prospectively for future fiscal years until such time as the commission in an open meeting revokes this approval. The treasurer is authorized to use the debit card accordingly to pay these obligations of the commission. So I propose that resolution and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to take each of these separately, if you don't mind, so if we could have a vote.
Okay. All in favor of this resolution? Commissioner Simkowitz, were you a yes? Okay. 6 in favor. Go on. Commissioner Elkins?
I think I skipped my first one. I'm sorry. I'm going back to number 1. ANC3D pays for its website hosting, and we need to approve that specific debit. And I want to make sure that that is a record as well. And I'm sorry, it could be seen as already being voted on by number 2, but I want to make sure we have this. So the resolution is ANC3D approves the December 22nd, 2025 use of the commission's debit card to pay for the yearly subscription of the Wix website hosting in the amount of $216.24. And I move that motion and asking for a second.
Commissioner Simkowitz seconds. No discussion, I see. All in favor? 6 in favor. It's unanimous. The next resolution.
So we have both a checking account and a money market savings account, which pays us less than $1 of interest every month. So don't get excited about how much money we're making. But the bank has decided that they're going to start declaring various bank accounts inactive if they don't have any action during the last 6 months. And they have therefore declared that our money market account, which we've just been collecting interest on, is inactive. In order to activate it again, we need to take some action to either put money in or withdraw money. The action which is recognized in the portal that we use to record all these operations does recognize taking money out of the savings account and does not have a place to report putting money into the savings account. So I'm recommending that we take $10 out of the savings account and put it into the checking account in order to activate this account. And I'm also suggesting or proposing the following resolution: that the commission authorize the treasurer to make a $10 transfer from the savings account to the checking account immediately, and to do so without further authorization in the future when it is necessary to reactivate the money market savings account and or to keep the savings account active. So in other words, please give me permission to do $10 now, and in the future when I see or the treasurer sees that we need to do another $10 transaction, then I don't have to come back and ask you again that you approve this for this purpose only. So that's my resolution, and I ask whether there's a second.
I will second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of this resolution? 6 in favor. It's unanimous.
Thanks for your work, Chuck.
Let's do more. This is what the treasurer does for you, and I'm a volunteer, you know. One more year. Okay, number 4 is one of the requirements is our minutes have to be signed by the secretary, and usually they are, but in one case, which happens to be a very important one, in May 24, they did not get signed by Andrew Davis. And I am asking the following: that ANC3D authorize the then current secretary of the commission to sign retroactively any such unsigned minutes now and in the future where it is clear in commission records that the minutes of the subject meeting were in fact approved by the full commission, as in fact is the case for the May 2024 case. But so I don't have to come back and ask again. let's authorize the secretary to take care of this administrative function. So I make that proposal and ask whether there's a second.
I will second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? 6 to nothing. It's unanimous. The last resolution.
Well, it has to do with the contract for the administrator, and it had a typo in it when it was signed. And I had here a resolution that we could authorize it to be countersigned now again. But in OANC has recommended or suggested, and I think it's a good suggestion, that we renew our contract with our administrator here in this calendar year, and so that it is clearly that it is a current contract, and I think that will help OANC convince auditors that we are on the up and up. So rather than pass a resolution now, I will propose that we come forward in February with an updated contract with our administrator. And so there's no action tonight.
Very good. All right. So let's move to the first quarter QFR approval.
Yes, you'll see that we had no receipts. We did pay for our web hosting, and we paid both our transcriber and our administrator, and that represents all of our expenditures during the first quarter. And we need to submit this to OANC, and so therefore I am presenting it to the commission for approval.
You need a second? Commissioner Duncan seconds. Any discussion of this?
Mr. Chairman, one of the things I want to say for the transcriber, this is the quarterly financial report for fiscal year 26, quarter 1. This is very important. Thank you.
Very good. Yes, because nobody knows that DC has strange fiscal year.
Right.
All right. All in favor of this? 6 to nothing. It's unanimous.
Thank you for your forbearance.
The approval of the minutes for November, is Commissioner Duncan handling this?
I am. Motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from November.
And I second.
Commissioner Nowak asked if I would do it because she's away. Any changes? I think we can call a question.
Yeah, it looked good. All in favor of approving the minutes? 6 in favor. It's unanimous. Now the notice of the next meeting, it is February 4th.
Can I also notice the next Transportation Committee?
Yes, please.
Which is, bear with me here. The 20th of the next meeting is January 20th at 2 p.m. and it's virtual. That's a Tuesday.
Very good. Does anyone have anything else before we adjourn? Seeing no one jumping up to speak, let us adjourn. It's 9:21 p.m., so that's pretty good.
Looks like Mr. Cox has something to say.
All right. We'll see if we can't highlight him.
Sorry, I just wanted to confirm from my own notes to clarify the next meeting will be, sorry, January 20th or February 4th?
The Transportation Committee
Oh,
meeting
sorry. Okay.
is
I had
January
just misheard.
20th, but the ANC meeting, I should have given it in my commissioner updates and I forgot.
Gotcha. No, no worries. I spaced out for a second, but thank you.
Very good. And Commissioner Elkins?
I did think of one thing that I'm sorry I did take a couple of minutes here that I did not report on in my commissioner comments, and that is that together with my colleagues on Capitol Hill, who together we worked on sidewalk repair, and here we're talking about tripping hazards and that sort of thing. We did succeed in getting a meeting with Director Kirschbaum in the presence of Committee Chairman Charles Allen, which was very, very important for the meeting, in which we discussed the fact that the Transportation Department does not consider a deviation between slabs of 1 inch or 2 inches as being of any real concern and can be taken care of over the next year or two in their normal repair program. The program that you're talking about maybe have some fraud in it. But coming out of that meeting was a commitment and a request that our little group on sidewalk safety prepare a budget which we could present to the committee, which would give an estimate of how much it would cost the Department of Transportation to actually take care of these tripping hazards in 60 to or so business days, which is about 3 months. And so that process is underway, and I know many of you do have concerns about sidewalks, and I just want you to know there is this group which has been active for 4 years now that involves primarily the Capitol Hill people, but I'm very active in it and trying to get some changes. And I think we're on the way.
Very good. Is there anything else before we adjourn? Seeing nothing else, it's now 9:23. Still a pretty quick meeting. Thank you all commissioners. Thank you all participants still here. We'll see you on February 4th.